um it is surrounded, that is um the audience are picking the sound from different areas, so that that's what we call immersive. So that is giving them like they are also acting the movie. Do you get? So yeah, yeah, panning. No, panning is still stereo field. Panning is stereo field. Immersive has to do with, like, it's a three-way dimension stuff. So it's like center, left, and also in front. It's a whole lot actually, right? So by the way. So I've mentioned live sound, studio, what's it called? Broadcast and film, right? So we also have what's it called? System, that's sound design. I thought I posted a video, what's it called? I'm coming. Please just keep, if you have questions, just wait. Oh. What's it called? So I taught something on sound design. Sound design is different from stage design, and is different from sound system design. Now, sound design has to do with manipulation of different types of waves to create a sound that is pleasing. For example, the horn, what's it called? The police siren, the what's it called? The I'm telling you also that if you want to venture, don't just think that it's about moving this fader and all of that. Audio engineer is beyond that. Oh, there's a whole lot that you can do as an audio engineer. I'm coming. There are a lot of fields. Do you get? There are a lot of fields. So now sound design has to do with manipulation of those particular frequencies. That is for siren. It was a sound designer that designed that particular sound, that made it so it was generated from a particular frequency. It could be a sawtooth manipulated in such a way that it now created that particular frequency, that siren that we are hearing, meow, meow, meow. If a sound designer, I was supposed to, well, I'm eventually to sha, but I took a course on that. So, but I don't know if I'm going to that space yet. But it's a good space. It's really a good space. And so there's also audio for films, audio for theaters, and all of that. So there's a lot of place that you can venture. So I'm opening our minds, that so that you're not just thinking um that it is about mixer. I'm not even, if not because of, I'm going to talk about gain staging. Sincerely, I don't need a mixer for this class. I don't need a mixer. But people are always, they're always conscious that they need a mixer. What mixer is? Mixer, for the word mixer, you are the mixer yourself. You are the mixer, because those stuffs are just, they're just tools to help you. It as a result, that's why some people, it's always it's always amazing. Sincerely, let me just use that word. It's always amazing at time when I see that some people, they have some certain good gadget, and they're like, this thing, it is beyond that. It's actually beyond that. You get? Exactly. Thank you for that. It's from one's brain, so you must pay attention to that. So I've stated a whole lot of stuffs, and it is very, very important that you take note of those particular fields, and venture into one of them if it's something that you can. So it's beyond, I'm saying, so that you don't just limit yourself to only being a mix engineer, and or mixing and mastering. Okay, I forgot, so post production, mixing and mastering. No, yes, thank you, Holy Spirit. I was supposed to say this. In live sound, we mix before we record. Why in studio production we record, we mix, and then we now master. So it's something that everybody needs to pay attention to, and that's why live sound is very, very technical. And so that's why if you're a studio personnel and you are delving into live sound, you must have a reorientation of mindset. Do you understand? So you must know that, yeah, you are thinking in a very, very high frequency. Do you understand? As a studio producer, you want to be okay, let me find this plugin, let me do this on in live sound. sharp sharp. Do you get it? So it's something that they want you to like think think straight, think fast. So it's a very very they are very very amazing fields. So both of them are very very amazing, but you must know where you are. And so just like now, let me just stay on live sound. I know that some people now in churches now, in fact that's where the system is now. That is, you have a mix for foh, you have a mix for your stage, and you have a mix for broadcast. You know that it is different level of mindset orientation for mixing your broadcast, for mixing your foh and mixing your stage. Now let me just explain that. Now for broadcast, you're only mixing for your for the audience. There's no speaker, you're not dealing with feedback, you're not dealing with anything. Do you understand? You can boost frequency anyhow, you can do anything. But when it comes to mixing foh, you can still play small, you can still say okay, I can shebi I'm just mixing for the our audience. They might not really perceive those things as intended. You can just do, but mixing on the stage, um that's why that's why you know that I know what I'm doing. Do you understand? So those stage mixes are very very strong. Do you get? So now let's have I've said much more on that. So it's very very important that we pay attention to those particular frequency. And if you are here as an audience, what makes you better is exactly. So what makes you better is that you've trained your ears to recognize different frequencies. Do you get? You've trained your ears to recognize different frequencies, and there are apps for you to train your ears. No engineer was really born an audio engineer. You have to, if I no field, you were actually built. Do you understand? So it's something that you have to train yourself. You have to train yourself. You have to train your ears. Do you get? I remember that my boss in church one time, it was like he added a particular reverb to what's it called, to a mic. Or like, can you hear it? And I was like, I cannot hear anything. Oh, I was like, okay, you cannot hear it. So I'm like, okay, I'm coming. So I was like, so I started, okay, how do I perceive this reverb? So I started, okay, knowing what how reverb was generated and all of that. So it made me started researching more and started understanding how these things actually work. So that's why once I hear some particular, once I know, um when I hear a particular mix, I already know okay, there's a particular auto tune was added. Most of the mixes they are added, but it's subtle. But when it's too much, you already know that an auto tune has been added and it's very very much. So um so I think I'm going to entertain some questions. Just like I said, it's a basic class, and I want to prepare our mind for something. No, auto tune. Auto tune is a plugin. Do you get? Do you get? It's a plugin. Do you get? Can you use to remove feedback on EQ? Okay, so now let's stay much more on EQ. Now you must know what causes feedback. You must know what causes feedback, right? What is the cause of feedback first? Now, before using an app, before using a plugin, right? You must know what causes feedback. Now, feedback is as a result of, is a loop. So that is your your speaker emits sound waves, and so your microphone picks it up and send it back into the speaker. So it's a loop. This what's it called? The microphone is meant to send out a signal out, pass through the mixer and all of that, and go into the speaker, while the speaker sends it via sound wave to the audience, and not what's it called, repeating back. But when that happens, it's as a result of a loop. So there's something called When working on a space, when working in a space, there are a whole lot of, and you must know that there's something called system feedback and acoustic feedback. So now, when it comes to feedback, so you must also pay attention to that because it's something that, sorry, thank you, this please. So I was saying something that there's something called system feedback and there's something called acoustic feedback. So system feedback has to do with wrong staging and improper mic placement. There's really a whole lot. I know that our next set of classes is going to be practical. There's something called acoustic feedback is as a result of, now I'm currently in a space. Now if I'm to place speakers here, there's a way I'll place the speakers that, now before even placing the speaker, I'll have to know that, okay, when I check the room that I am, wait, can we hear me? Can we hear me? Oh, all right. So I'm sorry about the glitch. So I'll first have to check the room and, okay, see how we can, what's it called? Okay, what are the set of speakers that I'll have to place here, so that now before that, if you enter a space that's like a large room, or let's say any space, now you check that, okay, this particular room, it has a gain, and that's called PAG, which is potential acoustic gain. That is, every hall, every room has, hope what I'm saying you are getting is right. I believe what I'm saying you are getting it. So every room has what we call potential acoustic gain, and so you now need something called the NAG, which is needed. Okay, you're trying to, don't worry, you will get it. Acoustic gain, that's your NH, that is the needed amount of speakers in that particular space, so that both the potential acoustic gain and the needed one can work together to make your own. That's why some people, I'm always very pissed off about those live band that puts over 20 speakers. Bro, what is your problem? What is your problem? Eh? Why are you putting 10 215s on your stage? Eh? You not be hearing, like, can't you just get, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Please, any question you have, just ask it now. We'll be going off very soon, very soon. So I'm using questions to what's it called, to like teach, right? So that we are on the same page. You get. So I think I've stated the basics, right? So I've stated the basis. So there's something I also want to talk about before we call it a night. Then tomorrow we'll do our practicals properly, right? Hmm. Okay, let me move on. So now I made mention that we're going to talk about. Wait, am I even done with the question about the feedback? So I was saying that concerning the, so you must know the amount of speaker that is needed in a space. Don't just think that your brother's church use a particular speaker, you will now use the same speaker, you will now use the same amount of speaker. No, every space requires their own certain amount of speaker. Do you understand? And so that's why, even before designing a, when what's it called, for example, when any organization wants to, that's why they need a sound system designer to be able to help them design the particular system that will be used in that sense. So I was saying concerning the feedback, you must know, and that's why it's very very important that you actually also, after doing all of that, you have to also tune your system, so that they won't have feedback. So no matter the microphone, that's why I said, that's why I started with frequencies. So you must know what that particular frequency is so that you can find it and use your graphic equalizer. Yes, point. It's not sound designer you need, sound system designer. They are two different. So there's difference between a sound designer. A sound designer has to do with manipulating of different frequencies to create a particular sound that is pleasing. Do you understand? While a sound system designer helps to voice particular or help in manipulating different, yes, different sound waves to make sure that a particular hall is is in good condition so that the audience can enjoy the space very well. You get. So I was going to talk about amplitude. Yeah, you're welcome. So I was going to, amplitude is very, very important, and also loudness. So loudness has to do with our perception of of okay. So loudness has to do with our perception of amplitude in decibels. So that is, you want to be able to perceive. Now when you say something is loud, you must know that okay, there's an increase in amplification, and also amplitude now is the size of a sound wave, or the amount of, or the amount within a space. So that is, when you are talking of amplitude, you are talking about an increment of decibels in in a space. I don't know if that makes sense. So loudness is very, very important, and so loudness has to do with um like amplification. Do you understand? Do you get? So amplitude also has to do with amplification, but you have to know that it is an amplification in sound waves. Do you understand? But you must know that you are dealing with sound waves. Do you get? Do you get it? I believe that's clear. So let's take questions. Let me take questions so that we'll call it a night. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let me just give us another tip. There are certain frequencies in a space that you have to pay attention to. Yes. So which is one of them, especially for clarity in your in your speakers, in accordance to any space, is that you have your 1 kilohertz. Thank you very much. And you also have your 2 kilohertz. Those particular frequencies are dominant in almost every space. So you must find a way to always work on them. And you see this thing called 800 hertz. 800 hertz is a very, very funny frequency that happens almost every time. And so that's why I said that your mid range, you have to pay attention to your mid range. Please, I would love us. So there are different sound generators you can download online. Spend at least 30 minutes listening to different frequencies. I'm talking to you guys as a brother. Oh my god, it's very, very important. Just try it. Just try it. It will help you to be able to know what's it called, uh how to perceive different frequencies. So even when I know how to deal with talking drama, I know that maybe you just could record this part. I tell you that she also said he knows how to deal with them. When I mean deal with them, I know how to handle them. Why? Because of I understand the basics, right? There's a particular talking drama I was working with. He was asking me, no, but treble, no, but treble. Sorry if you are not a Yoruba person here. I cannot hear the high frequency and all of that, sha. I told him I was checking my RTA and I was like, your talking drum is not tuned. Your talking drum has been exposed to a certain level of humidity. So it is not producing the high frequency that it ought to. God. And that's why drummers, any church I go to, I always communicating with them first. All these percussion drummers, I want to know them because most times, just like I said, every element has their own frequencies. Now your kick, I notice that most drummers they don't really know how to tune drums. I had to learn it. I had to learn it because at some point I noticed that I know this is how a kick should start. This is how a kick should sound. Why is it not sounding this way? I noticed that people were not they don't really know how to tune this thing very well and all of that. Ah, it is very, very, very important. All right, so I think I have a question here. Please correct people who use one ampere to power seven speakers and expect a good sound and frequency. Oh my god, this is this is not good. Is two speakers enough for an ampere? So now there's something called impedance matching. You get? Please, I want everyone to pay attention to this. I didn't even write that, but I'm glad that's why it's a live session. So you guys find a way to ask questions and we tend to like trash it out. Should I stop? Sincerely, this was not on the flyer, and that's why I actually have few more minutes left for me to leave this session. But let me answer this question properly. All right. So there's something called impedance matching and all, right? So now it is advisable that you buy your speaker before you buy your amplifier. Now the reason is because of on your speakers you have what we call there is the peak level and there is the RMS level. The RMS level has to do with the program, that is the average level, that is at a continuous amount of time. At what at what how much can this thing still push? Why the peak level is just um a level that it hits and it just drops, but the average level is where it stays continually. That's why it's called average. Do you get? So that is what you have to deal with anytime you are buying your system. Do you understand? So you must know that for your speakers, for example now, a speaker rated um what's it called they write 2000 um let me see, they write 2000 2400 2400 watts as peak, right? And you'll be having um 1000 as your RMS. So you must, yes, sorry, yes, your RMS. I'm coming to ohms too. Do you understand? So once you see that, you must know that just leave the peak because you don't deal with the peak. The amplifier deals with the RMS. So the RMS is the average, just like I said. Pay attention to this. You won't struggle with any and you see that stuff that I taught the last time on sensitivity. Some amplifiers do, some amplifiers do not have. But when you see it, I think the post is pinned on my page and all. You might, but I can still talk about it. But always go back to that video. So now for you have to also you stay on your RMS. Now that's your wattage. Do you understand? So the other part, the other part is your the other part is your um hey, imagine this wind machine engineer part is telling me, boss, hey my god, you are operating wing. See the mixer I'm operating. I don't even know the name of the analog mixer. That's on a lighter note. So for ohms, right? Ohms is very, very important. Ohms has to do with resistance. It has to do with resistivity. What does from the word resistance, it mean that okay, don't go out too much. I'm going to hold you for a while. Do you understand? Use Yamaha TF3. Please, I need to come and be. Just tell your church that there's one boy named Sub. He wants to come and be doing small, small work in that place. And if you are using amazing consoles, you should help your boy. So let's make progress. Hope we are making progress. So for ohms, it has to do with resistance. For ohms has to do with resistance, right? So resistance has to mean that okay, now let's do this. Let's use it this way. Someone made a question on gate and compression. Hmm. We'll talk about that very well, right? So what's it called? You have a tap running with a hose. Now you know that when you open the hose, when you open the tap, please, I'm trying to focus. I need to stop it. So when you what's it called? When you open the tap and there's a hose connected to it, the water runs out very well, right? The water gushes out. Now by the time you there's something that Jesus, there's something that these people that wash car they do. There's a way that I was somewhere one day and I wanted to like get water to do something, and you know what they did? The hose, they turned the hose in such a way that the water could not come out. That's what they call resistance. So they resisted the water from passing through. So when you hold the hose, it is now the water starts coming out little by little. So now practically now when you have your amplifier, now when you have it, hey my god, I hope for what I've not spoken about this. You have 8 ohms. Now someone, please, I'm still asking, please let's pay attention to this. So I beg you guys in the name of God. Someone asked that is it okay to is two speakers enough for an amplifier? And I stated that it's better you get a speaker before you get an amplifier. Now if your amplifier is 1000 watts and 4 ohms, now you need to know that if the amplifier is rated 1200 watts per side, that means, and it is rated 4 ohms, you can use the amplifier. Do you understand? You can use the amplifier. So 4 ohms means that it is drawing less. Okay, let's start from two. Let's start from 2 ohms. So 2 ohms means that it is drawing a higher level of power. That is, it needs power. That is, the amplifier needs a lot of power to be able to push the the particular speaker. So now 4 ohms has a reduction of that is, it just need, now the power begins to, you just need like a, I won't say little power, but let's say you need a medium power to for the amplifier to draw so that it can push the speaker. While 8 ohms has to do with, okay, let's say higher, what's it called, medium power. So that is, the amplifier is not drawing much power. Do you get? Then you have 16 and you have 32 ohms. So for 4 ohms, like this MP28, it has a way of, I don't use MP28 though, I have to make research on it. I don't know why people just what's it called, okay, my all my details are on my bio. You can click on it and just, what's it called, and just check it, right? My details are on my bio. So for your, I'll say something about the MP28. MP28, it says something that when you bridge the two channels together, that's 2800 watts at 2 ohms. That is, it can power a subwoofer that is, for example, two subwoofers that are combined together. For example, 1200 subwoofer and 1200 combined together. And if these the subs combine together, that is, maybe the sub is 4 ohms for one. And then when you combine them together, it's because of its logarithmic. So that's why when you combine it together, that's 4 plus 4 is meant to be, so you have 4 ohms. So you're going to do 4 ohms of the two speaker divided by 4 ohms divided by the two subwoofer. You now have 2 ohms. That is, what does the 200 of the subwoofer, of the two subwoofer, that's 2400, and 4 ohms of the two of the, so if you combine them together, the MP28 at bridge mode will be able to power that subwoofer effectively. Do you get? This is really a whole lot. It's really a whole lot. I know that probably you guys might come back to the live to understand it, but when it comes to impedance matching and speaker wattage matching, it's very very important that you know that um RMS level. Then you know that when you are as a result of that question, you have to know that if you must know what impedance the amplifier can carry, and you must know the amount of impedance that the speaker is also um slated to push, right? Do you get it? I believe you get it. All right, thank you so so much.
See you in day two. Bye for now.